Greetings nerdlings and welcome to AmalgamNation presents World of Lorecraft, Herocraft, Illidan Stormrage Part 2. According to the manual included with the Burning Crusade expansion, Illidan knows that Kil'jaeden has not forgotten of his failure to destroy the Frozen Throne. It says that he anticipates an offensive from the Legion and is preparing accordingly. In the game it is revealed that one of the ways Illidan is preparing is by creating new fell orcs to fight for him, using the blood of the imprisoned Magtheridon. It says that he and his allies fight to ensure that all portals to Outland remain tightly sealed while he strengthens his power base. It also implies that the Horde and Alliance will want to use those portals because of Outland's strategic importance. Battle of the Crimson Watch. At the beginning of the group quest Battle of the Crimson Watch, Illidan shouts out to players, "What manner of fool dares stand before Illidan Stormrage? Soldiers, destroy these insects." Waves of demons and blood elves then attack the party, and the players must defeat the waves, finally battling Torloth the Magnificent. After Torloth falls, Illidan shouts out to the player who landed the killing blow, challenging him to come to the Black Temple and take him on. "So you have defeated the Crimson Sigil. You now seek to challenge my rule. Not even Artus could defeat me, yet you dare to even harbour such thoughts? Then I say to you, come, the Black Temple awaits." This suggests that Illidan is losing his mind over his defeat at Artus's hand, not believing it himself. On the other hand, Illidan did technically survive the encounter, and if defeat for Illidan is defined as death, then Artus did not actually defeat him. Such nuances of logic are common with Illidan, often employed when defending his actions to others. Involvement in the Netherwing quests. The final quest of the long grind to reach Exalted with the Netherwing is called Lord Illidan Stormrage. It involves speaking with a projection of Illidan himself. Overlord Morgor, leader of the Dragon Maw's Nether Drake project, presents the player as the new High Lord of the Dragon Maw, but Illidan sees through the illusion and orders the Overlord to kill the player. Yarzil the Merc, a Nether Dragon disguised as a goblin, helps the player escape to the lower city of Shattrath, where they will receive one of 6 Netherwing Drakes as their new mount. Master of the Black Temple. Adventurers of both the Alliance and the Horde were assigned to penetrate the Black Temple and eliminate Illidan. Akama and his associate Maiev Shadowsong are covertly involved in the effort. During a quest it is revealed that Akama has conspired to end Illidan's tyranny by allying with Maiev and later freeing her. In the Black Temple raid encounter, Illidan is the final boss and is fought by both Akama and Maiev, along with the players. During the battle, Maiev taunts Illidan several times in reference to the pain that he has caused her from forcing her to guard his prison for 10,000 years by committing his crimes, causing the death of Naisha. In the end, when Illidan is near death, Maiev remarks that he is beaten, but as he dies, Illidan says that the huntress is nothing without the hunt. With the drive for vengeance gone, Maiev states that she is indeed nothing. Akama then took the Black Temple and swore to fill the halls with light once again. In Wrath of the Lich King. Illidan also appears in World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King as part of the quest The Hunter and the Prince. The quest is a recreation of the duel between Illidan and Artus at the gates of Icecrown Citadel. The player in the role of Artus must defeat Illidan to complete the quest. A memory of Illidan can be summoned by Argent Confessor Paeltrus in the Trial of the Champion. In Cataclysm, Illidan makes an appearance in flashbacks in Felwood in Trief of Feronis Sin-Dweller's quest chain, where both his conversation and battle with Artus, his battle for the Skull of Gul'dan, and his battle against Tychondrius is shown. This is the first time in-game where Illidan is shown with a model of how he looked before he became a demon hybrid. While visiting the past through the Caverns of Time, he makes an appearance in the Well of Eternity. He aids heroes throughout the instance. In Legion. After the fall of the Black Temple, the corpse of the Lord of Outland, Illidan Stormrage, disappeared. No one knows the true fate of Illidan's remains, but legend holds that Warden Maiev Shadowsong took his broken body to the Vault of the Wardens, so that Illidan's dark, lingering soul could suffer the rest of his eternal sentence, along with his followers, the feared Illidari, justice to be forever served. Prior to the events of World of Warcraft Legion, Gul'dan finds Illidan's body. It is presumed he sets him free, though what condition Illidan is in and whom he serves remains to be seen. During the Demon Hunter campaign, Illidan is summoned from the swirling pool in the Fellhammer by the player and Kane's son Fury, or Altruist the Sufferer. As the spectral image shows, his soul is still in the twisting nether and gives the Demon Hunter player the mission to find a Kama. He knows every detailed information about the Legion, with needing of convincing him to join them for a campaign against the Legion. He also gives the mission to regain the Sargarite Keystone to invade the Legion's worlds. After he has been spotted by some demon, Illidan said that they will not contact him like this in the swirling pool again, and he trusts the player with the Illidari officially claiming him or her as leader of the Illidari, and the spectral image fades. In the Demon Hunter Class Hall final quest, it is assumed that Niskara was one of the Legion's world that Illidan Stormrage wanted to invade. Kane's son Fury presumed that he was one of his dreams. The Fellhammer starts a massive bombardment on the demons of Niskara with the assist of the Coilscar and the Ash Tongues. The player glides onto Niskara with the Demon Hunter heroes Jace Darkweaver, Alari the Soul Eater, Kane's son Fury or Altruist the Sufferer, Asha Ravensong, Bellat Dawnblade, and Corvus Bloodthorn. After some fell commanders the heroes gather at the Niskaran structure where the fell flames are engulfing the entrance, creating a barrier. Kane, Sun Fury, or Altruist the Sufferer ask the hero to order the Fellhammer to bring down the fell barrier. There, the player meets Varadus Fellsoul and Karya Fellsoul, with the image of Kil'jaeden himself watching in amusement. However, they are slain by the Demon Hunters, making Kil'jaeden furious, fulfilling Illidan's dream. In the Light's Heart quest chain, Zera claims that Illidan Stormrage is the child of light and shadow, destined to end the age of the demons. Before attempting to recover his soul, the Great Naru asks the player to see the memories of Illidan's flashback. His actual situation at the Twisting Nether and with Gul'dan at the hands of his body remains yet to be seen or unknown. Relationship between Illidan and Malfurion. The relationship between the Stormrage brothers is noticeably different in Warcraft: The Frozen Throne and in the War of the Ancients trilogy. By way of comparison, in the novels written by Richard A. Knaak, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, I always just pronounce it Knaak, it's K-N-A-A-K. Malfurion is more tolerant and forgiving of his brother, who is portrayed as often selfish, reckless, out of control, and not completely sane. Rather than becoming part of the lynch mob who want Illidan summarily executed, Malfurion speaks on his behalf, endorsing his knowledge of the Burning Legion as vital tactical information, giving an undeniable reason to bury Illidan rather than kill him. When we first were introduced to Malfurion and Illidan in Warcraft 3, Malfurion objected fiercely to the idea of freeing Illidan, in the belief that his crimes were unforgivable and that he should stay locked up. When they were reunited, Illidan was bitter about how he had been punished, and Malfurion was disgusted to be in the same room as Illidan, still nursing a grudge over Illidan's betrayal. Illidan, who seemed to be the more forgiving one at the time, was eager to prove to his brother that the demons had no hold over him. Later, after Illidan used the powers of the Skull of Gul'dan for himself and took on a demonic appearance, Malfurion demanded to know where his brother was, implying he still had some affection for him. After Illidan revealed that he was the demon, Malfurion, rather than killing him, simply banished him. Obviously, Malfurion knew Maiev Shadowsong would want Illidan imprisoned, but still chose not to act. Rather than object, Illidan simply walked away. Illidan was next seen in Warcraft 3: The Frozen Throne. After the two worked together to save Tyrande, Illidan seemed to have forgiven Malfurion for disrupting his attempt to destroy the Frozen Throne, even though it would leave him at Kil'jaeden's mercy. Malfurion's last words to Illidan included an ominous threat about what would happen to him if he ever did anything against the Kaldoroi again. This too Illidan accepted without objection. Illidan admitted that he had known only ages of hate for his brother, but for his part he wished it to end. This is perhaps the closest thing to a peace that the brothers have achieved. Illidan then departed, telling Malfurion he doubted they would ever see each other again. In World of Warcraft, Malfurion's words indicate that he does not wish to fight his brother, and he says that if he is forced to, things will not be as as they were at the well of Zin Azshari. Relationship between Illidan and Tyrande. Illidan and Tyrande knew each other ever since their birth, which was thousands of years before the invasion of the Burning Legion. They were best friends alongside his twin brother Malfurion. Thousands of years later, Illidan treated Tyrande not just as a friend but something more. He knew that Tyrande will have to choose either him or Malfurion in the future. Tyrande also knew that if she chose one of them, the other will be deeply hurt, and she didn't want to hurt either of them. However, after the first invasion of the Burning Legion began, their relationships were changed forever. While Malfurion studied the druidic way of nature, Illidan studied the arcane arts, something that Tyrande was wary about, and rightfully so. He became reckless with his magic, so reckless that he even killed some of his own people whilst combating the Burning Legion. Before the great battle between Kaldorei and the Burning Legion continued, Illidan tried to talk to Tyrande about choosing him instead of Malfurion, claiming that he was dangerous with his druidic path. Tyrande told him that she thought that he was the dangerous one, that she feared he was losing himself to the corruption of magic. Illidan was heartbroken. He knew that she had chosen Malfurion, and in response he realized that he wanted his own brother dead. Illidan later sided with the Burning Legion, while unbeknownst to him, Tyrande was captured. She later escaped and ran to Illidan, who after some time betrayed the Burning Legion. When she saw what Illidan had become when Sargeras gave him his so-called gift, she was horrified. She tried to reason with him to leave the demon's service. He acknowledged to her that he was pretending to be on their side so that he could make his plan to become a hero to his people. After the great battle in the palace of Zin Azshari and the Great Sundering, Illidan created a new well of eternity, after also killing some Kaldorei soldiers who had been trying to stop him. For this act he was imprisoned deep below the World Tree, Nordrassil, on Mount Hyjal. For more than 10,000 years Illidan suffered in darkness until Tyrande released him from his prison to redeem himself by fighting the Burning Legion. After many centuries, Illidan still cared about Tyrande. He even said that he would not fight because of his people, but only because she asked him to. However, Illidan's twisted way of redeeming himself and saving his people didn't end well for them. He turned into something he hated the most, a demon. For this act he was banished from his homeland by his brother Malfurion. Tyrande was horrified of what he had become, and she did not object to his banishment. Their relationship came to a conclusion when Illidan threatened the entire world. It turned out that he was trying to destroy Northrend, and in doing so killed the Lich King, who was under the command of the great demon lord Kil'jaeden. Tyrande sought to stop him with the aid of his brother Malfurion. Illidan was surprised when Tyrande arrived to stop him. She told him he had become a monster, which he didn't take lightly, but he said he cared about her and that he wanted to show her how powerful he was. Tyrande said something that haunted Illidan for more than 10,000 years. Raw power is no substitute for the true strength, Illidan. That is why I chose your brother over you. When Tyrande was fighting the undead alone and fell into the river, Malfurion and Illidan fought a large undead army to save her. Illidan completely destroyed the undead army and rescued her. Tyrande was surprised by this act and asked why he would risk his life to save her. He told her that whatever he may be in this world, no matter what, he always cared about her. He made his peace with them, but he was not forgiven for the crimes he had committed. Knowing that he was no longer welcome on Azeroth, and that Kil'jaeden's wrath would be inevitable, he was left no choice but to create a portal and retreat to Outland. He bid them farewell, and after 10,000 years he finally left Azeroth on relatively good terms with them. Powers and abilities of Illidan. Illidan was one of the most powerful sorcerers on Azeroth. After 10,000 years, it is unknown if he is more, less, or equally powerful as Azshara. 10,000 years ago, when the first invasion of the Burning Legion began, Illidan practiced arcane magic and he became very adept at it. He was more impressive than the senior sorcerers under Lord Ravencrest's command. He even became personal sorcerer to Lord Ravencrest, something which made other sorcerers jealous. While Illidan fought demons, he also learned from them and used their own magic against them, something which both his own brother Malfurion and his long childhood friend Tyrande didn't find appropriate. During the war, he sided with the Legion and Queen Azshara. Valhalla. He was brought forth to speak with the Lord of the Burning Legion, Sargeras himself. In return for his allegiance, Sargeras burned out his amber eyes and replaced them with green fiery orbs. Through his new eyes, Ildan could detect any form of magic and detect the power of beings around him. Ildan's entire body was also covered with arcane markings, which increased his arcane power. Ildan had become the first demon hunter. 10,000 years later, during the second invasion of the Burning Legion, Ildan absorbed a powerful demonic artifact called the Skull of Gul'dan, turning him into an immortal demon. Ildan stated that with this power, he was stronger than any of Archimonde's lieutenants. He destroyed Tychondrius, the most powerful of the Dreadlords, with little effort. He also had the ability to transform into a full demon, making him even more powerful. Ildan is skilled in melee combat, especially with the Warglaives of Azeroth, which were once the weapons of the powerful Doomguard Captain Azeroth, a demon he slew 10,000 years ago. He can strengthen them to become even more deadly. Ildan's skills in melee combat are potentially surpassed by Arthas, who defeated him in close combat, though it is speculated that Ildan's loss to Arthas was due to the Lich King giving the small remainder of power he had to ensure Arthas' victory and, in the full spectrum, the survival of the Lich King. In the book Arthas Rise of the Lich King, their fight was longer. Ildan brought Arthas to his knees with one spell, while when Illidan went for a finishing blow, Frostmourne urged Arthas to rally and he struck Illidan with all of his strength. This indicates that Illidan was more powerful than Arthas, even when the Lich King gave him the power boost. Illidan is immortal. In the Demon Hunter starting experience, it reveals that he has an immortal demon soul and that he cannot truly die. Instead, his soul makes its way to the twisting nether until it can find another suitable body to inhabit. As I stated in the previous vid, this vid that you have just listened to goes out on Thursday instead of the Weaponcraft vid. The Weaponcraft vid will be out on Sunday. So thank you for watching, and as always, remember, play to game and game to play.